calling you a radical. So this one takes the cake. They're back to Perplexed. Now, wait till you read. Make sure you read this. I'll tag it. This is out today in Idaho. So the sockeye run in Idaho, 660,000 little fries released by the hatchery. Their new hatchery, they spent a bazillion. They come back in 2 years. These aren't, these are sockeye. Like steelhead, short life cycle. I like Chinook. 660,000. Guess how many returned? 27. You heard me right, 27. So you read through it and they're saying, well, because they put a lot of work in this. They put a lot of money into this thing, this hatchery. They won't listen to Kevin Blanche. By the way, I was spawned in Idaho, getting down with Ezra Pound in the burning grounds. I'm a Idaho freaking fish egg. So, he says, we tracked them all the way down through the Snake, in through the Columbia River, all the way to the ocean. Things were really good. When they entered the ocean, their life cycle was doing great. They were doing great. We tracked them. Everything was great. We're sitting here waiting. Yay, they're coming. Oh, this is such a success. They're in Fukushima fucking it on. This is how ignorant these fucking people are. He says, then we can't figure it out. Either they died in the Columbia River on the way back or the ocean. When NOAA themselves, it's widely reported, Kevin Blanche, for years. But now they're even saying, ODFW, NOAA is saying that it's the ocean. They're dying in the ocean. So I guess this guy never got the memo. Fukushima killed him. Look, Fukushima has been pouring in, and they used the word, the headlines, perplexed. That's what they started with. They started with this perplexed. Scientists are perplexed. They're bewildered. They're baffled. They're stumped. They're alarmed. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. I mean, we were keeping a list. I was going to make a shirt. Baffled, stumped, bewildered, perplexed, curious, alarmed. I mean, we've seen them all. They're back to Perplexed. Again, and they put a lot of work into this, a lot of money. This hatchery, everything. 660,000 smolts. I mean, they grew, they got, that's a lot of work. It's a long journey. By the way, I've made that all the way to that ocean, San Diego. And these fish don't go down I-15. Nobody will listen to me. Well, they got my view council squashed, but these people have heard my rhetoric. Fukushima's hot, hot, hot. How could all scientists, marine biologists, all these people be bewildered, stumped, baffled at this point? How is it possible? I guess, the only two answers. One is they got the golden handcuffs and they're just blissfully ignorant with their money. They don't want to rock the nuclear boat. But at the same time, Idaho's testing little nuclear reactors at Idaho National Lab. I mean, this whole dynamic, I feel like I'm living in the twilight fucking zone. I really do. I'm overwhelmed. There's so much for me to take on, and my view count's so low that, it's mind-boggling, actually. It's staggering how much truth and how much accuracy. Probably the most famous freaking scientist in maybe ever, Kevin Blanche. You think about it. I've been right about every bit of this. It's incredible. It's staggering the amount of work I've done. It's engulfed my whole life. I've given up my whole life for this because nothing else matters. I want to say, you marine biologists and you politicians and everybody's going, where's your fucking crown? Where's your crown? When you're crowned king, I'll be in front of the White House, and that's what I'm going to sing. I'm going to dance and chant in front of the White House. I'm there every 2 years. I'm there every year taking my election. I'll be singing to Trump and Pence. Where's your fucking crown? When you're crowned king, nothing. Where's your crown? It's unbelievable. Mystified, baffled, stumped, perplexed, bewildered. At this fucking point, they're dying in the ocean. Big fish eat little fish. Anchovies and sardines, look it up. They've been down 99.6% now for 6 years. 7 years. The gray whale's washing up, starved to death, bewildered. You know, the typo's dead, stumped. The freaking Fukushima fires, they're perplexed. All the mures wash up and the birds, they're bewildered. 660 fucking thousand made it to the ocean. Their life cycle's 2 years. The run's over. 27. By the way, the Army Corps of Engineers has classified Kevin Blanch. And by the way, let me tell you guys something. Do you know the Army Corps of Engineers live cam's been out now for 8 years? I called them. I says, well, I've been talking to ODFW and WFW the whole time. They know my voice the minute I call. The people who do the ODFW numbers, they used to laugh at me at first. They're on my team now. When I talk to them, they're like, no, Kevin, you're right. The Army Corps of Engineers is corrupt. They override you. We believe in you now because you're the only scientist that had this right. I mean, in the projections ODFW had on the Chinook at, 2.3 million. My number, again, this year, I've been dead on within a few thousand fish every fucking year. That's how accurate I've been. I mean, when they set their projections at 2.3 million on the Chinook, and I put mine at 680,000, come in at 680,000. Next year, they project 2.7 million. I project 480,000, comes in at 480,000. Next year, I project 333,000. They project 1.9 million, comes in at 336,000. I've been dead on it. My projections again this year, I was at 200 some odd thousand. They quit gill netting, so I doubled, went back up to around 500. Dead on again. But I want you to think about this. This is a 2-year cycle. So what's this say for the Chinook going forward? 660,000 have made it to the ocean. 27 made it home. Do you think we got a problem with that fucking ocean? Russia syndrome, as I've named it. I named it the Great Pacific Genocide in the early days. I never said extinction. I never went ELE. I used the word genocide. People used to slander me, laugh at me because they had record returns. I'm like, wait. You ain't seen nothing yet. 660,000. The 2-year cycle, 27 of them made it home. Wow. It's the biggest story in the fucking world. I've dedicated my whole fucking life to this. By the way, while fighting cancer. This is dedicated to my friend Johnny from Arco and Paul Winchester, who both from up there. I was in the bone marrow transplant center at LDS with in 2011 and 2012. Who both died of AML leukemia. Oh, they were believers in my work back then. Stay tuned. Perplexed.